everyone, welcome back again to CCW TV, the Comic Culture Warrior video channel. I am Elliot Serrano and this is Jose Melendez. And we're coming back to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois, after a brief hiatus of a couple weeks wherein Jose and I took a little time off from each other, and God knows we needed it. We really, really needed it. You were throwing napalm death on the blog, wherever you went. And you even kind of slowed down on the blog a little bit too, just to give it a break. I think, you know what? I think some folks have been taking us for granted.
You think?
I think some folks are taking us for granted because it's right off from the get-go. It was like, when's there going to be a new post? When are we going to have this? When are we going to have that? And,
actually, did you read that blog post? I guess one of our commenters, Phil, PM Knight,
yes,
set up a new blog, and he actually posted something about that, about how people, what was it? It was, I can't remember.
It was one of those.
It was one of those.
It's a privilege, not a right.
Exactly,
kind of things.
exactly. and I like that. So, yeah. And it was true.
Well, not that we're going to take ourselves too seriously around here, but guys, lighten up. I think we went a couple days between postings in some cases, and we went, even though we didn't have new material, we went a whole week without new videos, like a whole week.
Well, I think they just added to.
Yeah, to the
craziness.
The craziness. Yeah, people were like freaking out. Like you guys thought he was dead, and no one cared where I was. You know, they're like, whatever.
Well, because you're the reason why there haven't been videos for 2 or 3 weeks, so no one gives a shit about you.
It's true. Well, I am the straw that stirs the drink. You know. But anyway, while we were away, a lot of things went on in the industry. Especially, we got a lot of feedback on our last video about kids-friendly comics and how comics were getting really adult-oriented, and the comments made by Kurt Busiek and Darwin Cook. And I had a nice little back and forth with someone on the YouTube channel about Darwin Cook's and Kurt Busiek's comments, and I was dying because it just goes to show no matter who you are, doesn't matter what your name is and what your credentials are, you're always going to find someone who can just dismiss you. So there's no such thing as having a reputation that everyone's going to respect. So, you know, there was a whole argument. And then, and this week's segments, we're going to get into...
Maybe if Darwin Cook put more rapey in his comics, maybe he would get the respect that he deserves, right?
But, you know, it doesn't matter who you are. No matter who you are, if you say certain things, you're going to get... that people in general don't agree with, you're going to get criticized. And again, the thing that kills me the most is that it's friggin' comic books. I mean, we're not even talking about things that really matter in life.
Comics are serious business.
And some folks, I love...
so is this the whole beginning of the video? It's just you complaining about people?
Yeah, because some people got under my craw the whole time I was there.
It's been building up for 2 weeks, huh?
2 weeks. But we did also get a lot of really good comments and a lot of stuff around the blog.
Most of them were really good comments.
There were some really good comments. Some people who were actually very, were agreeing. And more stuff came out over the internet about that very point. We'll get into that later.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, let's jump into a review real quick, just to clear the palate.
Are we going to do a bunch of reviews?
Let's do a few, because I know, and we're going to get kind of caught up on some things that folks have been asking us to talk about. I know stuff that you guys have read and you've been asking us to comment on, and even though we've been talking about it on the blog, you still want a video about it. So let's do a video. Let's first jump into Morning Glories from Image Comics. This is what we're calling, this book is got the Chew effect, we're calling it.
The Chew effect. The effect that we caused to begin with.
Yeah, and you know.
And now the ripples are going out.
The ripples are going out. By Nick Spencer, Jose Eisma, and covers by Rodan Esquejo. He has the covers, I think he did character design too, stuff like that, or coloring in there.
No, he just does the covers.
Just covers, right?
Yes.
But I know he was involved in, in the creation.
Alex Solazo does the, or is it Soyazo?
Okay.
Does the covers.
Well, let me just say, there's been a lot of talk about this particular
A lot of talky
book.
talk, a lot of banter, a lot of people all like, I can't find these issues. Where
Yeah.
are they? The first issue has gone into 3 printings already.
Right.
Third printing came out last week. The second issue came out last week. Or sold out before it even shipped. The second printing came out another week.
And yeah, people are just going bonkers because they can't find it. If you go on eBay, it costs like $30.
So that's why I call it the Chew Effect. Same thing happened with the first like 2 or 3 issues of Chew.
Which is pretty ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm no reflection on the book itself, but it's pretty ridiculous when you consider Image's track record. If it's a book that sells,
Well,
they're gonna not only are they gonna reprint it, but you know there's gonna be a trade of this thing out pretty soon. So
wait for the trade.
If you can't find a book, wait for the trade. Don't go to eBay and buy it for $30 from Richard Johnston. Because he does that all the time.
Well, there was another
his
book that came out this week by Image. It's called Skull Kickers.
Skull
That thing
Kickers.
sold out before it even shipped. Retailers were selling it for like $20.
Yeah,
like the Tuesday before it was supposed to ship.
Yeah.
It's already sold out. There's a second printing of that coming out. I didn't even get to see it because we only got a few copies, and those are all taken up by actual club members.
Right.
Who got it for cover price, or actually cheaper because of the discount.
Right.
So
the thing is, and again, not a reflection of the book, but don't go for this collector's mentality. It's
yeah, comic book dude saw this at his comic shop for like $30 or $40.
Nah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But it's the same week that the third printing came out.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Again, let's rip on some retailers like we'd love to do. Now, if retailers are sitting on first printings of these for $40 and aren't carrying this first or second or third printings so they can sell it for that prime, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't ask comic book dude because, like I said, I was off of the blog for a week. But my question is to you: are the retailers that you see this in the store for Boku bucks, are they carrying the reprints, or are they not carrying it so they can try to sell the premium?
Right. Okay, let's just
don't get scammed.
Outside of the malarkey that's going on around selling the book, talking about the book itself.
Nick Spencer. The reason why I always actually picked this up is because Nick Spencer is the writer of probably one of the best minis that came out this year. Was called Forgetless. It's a 5-issue
yes.
mini that came out, which the collection comes out in November.
And you see ads for Forgetless in the back of Morning Glories.
It's for the trade. Yeah.
Right.
So he had ads in Forgetless for this coming out, and I'm like, Forgetless was like I said, it was probably one of the better books that I read this year, and I didn't want to pass this up. And so I was lucky that I had it on my club because I knew who the writer was and I wanted to buy it.
Is a Nick Spencer a TV writer? Because there are a lot. I saw a couple in jokes, some Easter eggs referring to some other TV.
I don't know. This
writers
is actually his third
comic
series for Image.
Right. I have a feeling he's like one of those, like a Hollywood TV type.
You think so?
Sorry, I don't know who he is specifically. I know most of my writers.
Should have done some research.
Yeah, I should have. Well, I read the book for the first time. Jose said I need to read this, and I read it, and it is a good book. It tells a story of this academy where these kids are recruited to go, and I mean, it's not Harry Potter, and although it had sort of, I kept flashing back to Battle Royale with this particular book when it came to the headmaster of the school and how they treated the kids with pretty much disdain. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in here, especially in the first issue. A lot of stuff that goes on with very little explanation. Things just get thrown at you. And in the beginning, if you need to really have...
Go ahead.
Well, if you really need to have things spoon-fed to you, you're going to struggle a little bit with the beginning of this book.
The first issue was 44 pages
Right.
of art, and it was only $3.99. Now, I wasn't expecting that at first. If I were to actually pay attention to solicitation, I probably would have been that. But it's 44 pages, but yeah, it devotes a lot to the 6 main protagonists. They get their own little
Introducing the
intro
characters,
story.
right, yeah.
And then it splits the time between introducing them and then this kind of shady stuff that's going
that goes
on
on
at
in
the
the
academy.
school. Right. And I'll say this, the characters themselves are very interesting.
Yes.
Each of them have, again, I was flashing back to Battle Royale, the different personality types and how they will work together. But whereas in Battle Royale, the characters are really extremes of each of the personality types that they represent. Here in Morning Glories, these characters seem a little more grounded and relatable.
Yes.
And it was just, there's some funny character moments, too, where I don't want to give away any spoilers. Let's just say if you get the office, if you get the rich, spoiled kid who's just a total pig about things, and you put him together with the girl who's used to getting her way all the time, interesting sparks.
Well, and then you have all the people who are, and then you have like the kind of goth drama queen, who's just depressed and writes poetry. But then you have Hunter and Casey, who are the two kind of regular Joes,
right,
that are kind of thrown in there, and you kind of see how they all play off of each other.
Right, and Nick Spencer, knowing these personality types, also even does with Joe and Casey, has a moment where they meet, and he plays it.
Hunter.
I'm sorry, Hunter and
Joe Casey,
Joe
the writer.
Casey, really. When they meet each other, it's like they acknowledge that it's very cliche the way they meet. So they will, no, this will not happen. No, stop. Don't even look at me. It's actually a very cute moment. At that point, the book really won me over with its characters. At first I'm like, okay, it's clever. It's got all this great, these great little story conventions. Really make me care about these characters. Please. I cared about the characters at that point. So, it is a good book. To me, the artwork was a little sporadic, a little unsteady in some parts. The second issue much better than the first.
Yeah. Well, I think I kind of noticed that too. I didn't have a problem, but the first, I think it's 44 pages for the first one. And I'm wondering if Joe Isima, if he went back and kind of, because to see the progression of art from the first page to the 44th page, I'm wondering if he went back and kind of tried to redo some stuff.
I see. Because he got more comfortable with it as it went.
Exactly.
And then there was a stark contrast between how the book started.
So maybe
and the
he
book
did
ended.
go back
and he could have been working on this book for a while too.
Yeah.
I mean, again, these image books, these guys aren't doing it under editorial edict and getting paid up front. This is them doing it on their own time.
Let me tell you, I am. Just that alone, the 44 pages of art with like one ad in the back for $3.99, that impresses the shit out of me.
And it's very heartening to see that the market embraces a book like this, and now the book will be able to continue, and then these guys will be rewarded for their efforts. So, but guys, I mean, just please, not $30 for the first issue is not. You don't need.
Well, that's what the market's demanding. I mean, it's not. No, you can't blame these guys.
I don't think the market. No. I don't blame them at all.
Well, I'm talking, making it sound like.
I'm sorry about if it sounds like that. I'm not blaming the creators. I'm blaming the retailers.
No, you're the same fuckers who ruined the comics for us in the '90s. The speculators. That's who you should be blaming.
I'm surprised there still are speculators, though.
Well, as long as you have stuff like Bleeding Cool out there. Fanning the flames of the speculators.
Rich, we love you, but sometimes you just do some dorky stuff. All right, so Morning Glories gets a CCW TV stamp of approval.
So,
buy it, pay cover price for it.
Pay cover price for the second or third printings. They should still be available. The second printing isn't out yet, or the second issue, and then hopefully those will all be back in print before the third issue comes out.
Yeah, and enjoy it. It's a good story. Don't buy it because you think you're going to be able to turn around and sell it for $30 later.
Yeah, and actually, since we haven't been around for a while, I got shit from John Layman for saying that people should just wait for the trades on Chew when we did a review. He totally misheard me. I said, if you can't find the issues, wait for the trade. But I also said that those issues of Chew for the new storyline were going into reprints. And I said that. I don't know where John Layman gets off, shitting where he, on the Kingmakers, but
I told you that Eisner's made him a diva. I think we really should deal with Rob from now on. Rob is very grounded. I mean,
not only did we, review almost every issue, but we talk with people about the trades, and then we hype up the Omnivore edition. Yes. All that money is going to John Layman.
He needs all the money he can to get all the crystal meth he can. And I mean, okay, he gets a high-grade crystal meth. It's not like he goes for that cheap shit anymore. His teeth are all black now. They're all black.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's sad, really.
He could probably just produce it a lot cheaper than he's paying for it.
Probably.
So when Chew actually ends at issue 22, it's because he opened up his meth lab, and that's where all the money is being funneled to.
And I'll be in issue 17. Oh, boy. I read the script. That's going to be fun. All right, when we come back, we will jump into another comic you guys have been asking us. In fact, we haven't talked about DC in a while, so we'll talk about a DC book.
Because there's just really nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about.
But we will talk about them during Last Rants, though, too.
We will.
See you DC today.